to him. I actually gave him a very elaborate question of, you know, this has been a huge step for you, coming from Open Division all the way to the World Cup, playing on a stage in front of thousands. How do you feel about that? And he was like, good. That's all he said. And I was like, okay, can't really note that down.
Sound.
But to his credit, it's the one response I can remember by memory because it was literally that short.
Yeah, you were going to remember one word.
Yeah, exactly. He makes it nice and easy for us. What can I say?
I mean, it makes note-taking very easy.
It does.
It's like one word. Cool. But no, KSP, he is one of the guys who is going to have a very bright future in European Overwatch. Let's give him a couple more seasons of contenders, a couple of World Cups maybe, if it swings around next year. He could be a superstar on the Overwatch scene.
Christopher on the Orisa needs a bit of hand to get up on that high ground, using the Symmetra just to make that happen. Immediately go back. And back out they will fly. Kid bringing out the Junkrat this time around. So nothing too out of the ordinary. Quite a standard setup coming through on Anubis Burst. And this is why I love this point so much, is that it does force things to change. You can't really run 3-3 on there. You see a lot of dive play coming through. There's always Widow duels thanks to the long sight lines. And again, I always hark back to it. We remember Soon's 4-minute wonder class on Widowmaker just a couple of days ago.
Don't tell the French crowd you just said the word soon. No. They're going to erupt and we're going to hear it down here in the Blizzard basement.
Well, what can I say? It was a meme you brought out yesterday, wasn't it? Soon Breeze and the whole crowd.
Yeah, they do.
Soon.
It's incredible. Something else that's incredible, UK's performance and chances of BlizzCon, because it is incredible that they can literally lose this map. They can throw this map and still make it a BlizzCon.
You know, Italy, they aren't quite in the mood to make their ride that easy. Full dive coming through from Italy. Nice little 360 spin there as well to dodge the headshot from KSP. Italy haven't lost a member yet, but that mech has just been lost, so maybe now they're going to have to go back and reset.
It's so difficult to play this composition. I was actually speaking to Jake about this. If you make one mistake in a dive composition into this kind of setup, you are just going to have to lose and reset. Everyone needs to play absolutely perfectly to make it work. Heartbeat. Being a sneaky beaver, but he's caught up by the poison grenade, so KSP had his number from the get-go.
That's the beauty of the poison grenade as well, is it basically serves as a warning indicator when someone is trying to get the flank on you. Well, speaking of the whole Junkrat setup here for Kib as well, we were sat with Jake watching the last series, and as soon as he saw the trapman get put inside the door to the left in the fabled microwave room, as we call it, he was like, yes, that's my trap, I use this all the time, and it worked wonders for them then. Kib not really going for it just now, being much more happy, sitting back to the side and making sure that right-hand room stays safe.
But he still managed to get that mine kill onto Midna, so stalling out Italy even further. 1 minute down so far, 3 to go for Team UK if they want to get the full hold in action.
A nice slow start as well, but then again, no big rush. Italy just wanted to make sure they get this right rather than just almost trying to throw toilet paper at the wall and hoping it sticks. They don't want that to be the case. They want to make it work first time. They've made it work with Carnifex picking up Kib, and he had the tire online. That's the big one, Trip.
And Italy need to keep up the pressure so Cruz can't go in for the resurrection, which is he's doing right now. They let go of the pressure, and now they brought Kib back, completely rectifying that moment of brilliance from Carnifex.
Yeah, they lost Heartbeat as well, so without the real full dive potential coming in from the Tracer, Winston, and the Genji combo, you want to go back and just wait until you've got those 3 members up. But like you say, it does give the UK the time to reset and get Kib back online, and now he's got that tire with the Infrasight up. That's going to be stalled out for even longer.
Tire Infrasight is lethal. There is nowhere to hide when that tire comes about, and you completely cut out the guesswork of the scouting. You can just go straight. They're going to dive onto the back line. Actually, no, they're going to play it a little bit safer. Carnifex pops out, immediately gets a hello, goodbye kiss from KSP. Smex taking out Nisa. KSP repositions. He has the grapple hook, and well, looked like Midna overplayed his hand by jumping in. It's an easy cleanup for Team UK, because Italy has already lost too many members. And a final shot from KSP takes out Bims.
Little shake of the camera from KSP. He knows he's still kind of warming up here. Just gives himself a bit of a shake, saying, come on, wake up now. It's time to start getting some headshots. Did miss a few crucial ones in there that really would have set that point down for his team, but alas, this is why Overwatch is a team game. You're all in this one together, and collectively they clear Italy out and send them packing once again. But Italy are going for the same setup that we saw the UK employ on their overtime push on King's Row. They're going for that critical mass of 6 ultras before they go for it. Problem is UK have got their own, they're bringing them out now.
Dropping the supercharger down very early for the UK because they sensed it coming in. Smex has already cleaned out Midna. KSP's got the high ground. They're playing very consciously of this Widowmaker, but it's not even KSP doing the work in terms of kills. It's Christopher. He's getting on the board with that extra damage boost, and finally, the bongo drum will expire. Thankfully, we still have bongo cap.
Yeah, some good patience being shown by the UK as well, not deploying all of their ultimates in a panic. They did bring out 3 or 4 in that fight, mind you, whereas Italy only deployed 2, one of them being the highly rechargeable pulse bomb. I mean, at least it is highly rechargeable when you're not being killed by KSP every 2 seconds.
Got to stay alive to charge. You can't get that ult charge as fast if you are dead, and KSP really sending it to Carnifex. I think that's about the 3rd time he's got that pick off in that particular matchup. 30 seconds remaining for Italy. A lot of ultimates on the board. They're going to have to do it in this push, Des.
Got to make it work now. Minna getting pretty good at spinning away from KSP as well, making sure he doesn't get picked off, but he's rooted down and brought down by the trap.
Here comes the Kip tire. Pull the cord, all aboard. We're going for a ride, and it might be the end of Italy's run. If he can just decide what to do, Bim's going to be the target as he gets blown up. 13 seconds remaining. UK in a very solid position to make this full hold complete.
Looks like that's the way it's going as well. Great full hold from the United Kingdom with 5 seconds remaining. Italy will throw things at the point, but finally Heartbeat brings out the blaze.
Midna was able to touch the point as well. There's a Transcendence to cancel out Heartbeat's ultimate. KSP going to cancel that out with a bullet to his skull. Midna drops down on the wrecking ball, booped off the point, shot off the point. That is a full hold for Team UK.
I imagine AKM somewhere, she's sitting there nodding in approval at Heartbeat, saying, I approve, my son. That blade took you a long time to bring online. I think it was a good solid 2.5, 3 minutes before that blade even came up, and when he does bring it out, half the team are dead. So that dive never really had time to collectively push together. They expended a couple of pulse bombs, the sound barrier maybe at the wrong time. Didn't really go for the big collective push that dive is famed for. Admittedly though, the UK had a fantastic dive set up as soon as Minna went in, landed onto the trap from the Junkrat, and well, we know what happens next. He got exploded very quickly.
You know, you're so close that your bubble shield can't protect you anymore. You have Christopher in your face with an LMG on Orisa. At that range, it's going to shred through you. It doesn't matter who you are.
So now it's down to the UK, and sadly for Italy, they had a very, very good second point defense with the double projectile set up earlier on today. There is no second point defense coming on this map for them. 33.3% is all the UK require to guarantee this series win and take away Anubis.
They've already guaranteed the series win, Des. Because the best that Italy can do here is full hold them, and it's a draw.
True.
There'll still be 2 in the lead. They can only then win 1 map.
But my version sounds far cooler.
It does, but I kind of like taking the wind out of your sails whenever I can.
I know, mate, I know. It seems to just be a staple of our relationship. You take things away from me when I want them.
Yeah, I mean, you do deserve it most of the time.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is.
Why is it?
Because you don't pay attention to this wonderful game of Overwatch.
I mean, like you're not doing right now because you're too busy trying to talk me down.
Yeah, I'll talk you down, but I'll be the bigger man here, and I'll start talking about the game itself. Looking at what Italy's calling out, they're going for a similar setup to what the UK has. I think they're relying on the perfect strategy.
Not even just similar, exactly the same setup. I imagine we'll see most of them playing in the same sort of side as well. The Widowmaker, always very, very potent on this first point because you have 2 high grounds, and as soon as a dive comp tries to go for one side, well, you're immediately zipping over to the other, and if someone is there, you've always got the back to be able to fall to as well. So a lot of the coordination comes from the dive on the side of the United Kingdom here to be able to shut Carnifex down, but they're playing on the high ground, or were. They backed away because the Orisa shield missed.
Oh, they missed the shield, so they have to concede that high ground position. Midna, maybe going to custom games, work that one out a little bit more for Contender Season 3. But the UK, going to push forward. Christopher, very low already. He must have been tagged on his way up.
Yeah, Carnifex, he's lurking and waiting with that sniper rifle just to try and bring him down some more. Gets a little tag there, but no real kills coming through. It's going to be the same story for the UK here, trying to get those key ultimates online and trying to pick off crucial members. I'm looking mainly towards the Mercy on Bim. See if you get that down, that res is out the way. There's no damage doing coming through, and Chris almost gets caught out by the trap, but just a little bit too far back.
He managed to land on there and miss the trap. Perfect positioning. I don't know whether it was a coincidence or not, but he adds a little bit of pressure to Italy, but won't get much more than that. But he's bought enough time for UK to wrap around to the side. They've all taken the high ground away. Carnifex comes in with the quick scope pop onto Christopher. He's going low himself. He's got a Genji in his face. Here comes Diva to back up, 55 HP. Can't commit to the kill as Cruz going to bring Chris back up. But KSP is on clean up as he takes Lisa out. Smex being D-Mexed by Dragon. Eddie KSP is going to dance around. Kibbs being ignored at the moment by Heartbeat as Midna finishing off Smex. Christopher getting a kill onto Bim, so this is definitely back and forth, but it's starting to go in favor of the UK. Carnifex, Heartbeat, they've been removed. No more DPS for Team Italy. Now UK just has to shred through the attacks.
Still managed to get the way through as well with that Transcendence coming out to keep them all alive on the point. Supercharger down, just a little bit too late for Midna. KSP is cleaning up on this Tracer. This is his 4th kill of the fight, I believe.
We called him the Widow one trick, but he just showed us why that's not the case. He jumped onto Tracer. Kib coming in with the slash and the dash. Heartbeat and Bims going down. Team UK definitively take this series 3-0.
But it's like we said earlier on, this isn't without flaws in this play. A little bit of a late dive coming through where the Winston managed to get onto the Widow, but there was no receiving Genji at the other side to deal with the Widow as she ran away. That's the kind of thing that the French team may well punish in their series later on. And it's one of those small things I'd like to see the UK clean up before we get to that stage.
Well, of course, this isn't the end of the series. We are going to have another map coming up shortly. And Italy fighting their hearts out. The best performance, unfortunately, looks like they peaked on King's Row. Maybe it's just a pattern of every second map they come up with something big. And maybe the escort map might be the way they take it back and give one last final dig to the UK before they conclude their Paris group stage.
Admittedly there, the UK did have a very, very solid defense on that first point, and as we alluded to during the game itself, Italy had a very good second point defense earlier on today. If they'd have got to that stage, that could have been a much closer scenario. It turns out the UK, well, that armor we spoke about earlier on, it's not showing too many cracks. Just a few little maybe scuffs along the way, but so far it's looking pretty solid.
Yeah, I want to see what can happen on this escort map. Italy, they've been doing a lot of different changes. They've not been picking necessarily the Rialto, which would be their home turf. Much to the surprise of everyone else. We're going to bring that map up shortly for you, but maybe we might see a Gibraltar. Could see a Route 66. We saw what Germany did against France on that map, pushing them to the absolute limit in overtime. Maybe there's a pocket pick for Team Italy here to do the same to the UK. But we have that answer to the question. Junkertown is our final map of this series, and it is going to be that escort type. So Italy, avoiding the home turf of Rialto, maybe hoping for better luck further away from home.
Quite possibly is what they'll be shooting for. And that Route 66 game you mentioned between Germany and France, probably one of the best matches we've seen so far of this weekend. But we are onto the map, and that means double sniper is going to run rampant, at least for the UK on this first point. Not only the fact that the long sightlines on this first point play into that strength, but KSP being the Widow main we keep on speaking about, why would you not use him here at his strongest?
Would you say there's a escort map that doesn't really suit long sightlines for sniper rifles, Des?
There's maybe one or two you can pertain to where it's less prevalent. I mean, Gibraltar's generally pretty good for it as well, at least on the first point, and Hangar somewhat. They're probably the key two I look towards and think that's probably the best one you can go for. Although, to be honest with you, when you got KSP in, it's because you know that he's going to be strong across all of these maps. As we saw with the Tracer on Anubis, he can make it work.
Just concerned, because I was thinking, it's not actually a bad substitution. It is a weird system, admittedly, to have a permanent sub that comes in at the halftime. Sometimes you can be left with, well, we maybe want the specialist, but we've got to keep him in for the rest of the series. It's a big choice to make. So when you bring someone like KSP in, if you look at escort maps, at least you know in most of them, you can get some Widow play out of the guy. And that's what he's known for most.
Route 66 is probably the main one I look towards, where we've seen teams mainly just playing goats on it, and they haven't really gone towards snipers. Maybe one or two teams have poured it out on the second point. Definitely not on the first and third, it seems to be. This one, though, this is played right into the UK's hands, bringing KSP in at the half, and so far they've been given Anubis, one of the stronger sniper maps when it comes to assault, and when it comes to escort, well, it's playing into their hands once again.
Look where Team Italy is
Scouted.
right now. They've been spotted out straight away. That could have been big for the Italians, but they're going to play it slow, not be baited into it. Specs is actually on that Diva, going to be moving forward. Going to take that point and start moving the payload further forward. Dragonin looking for the flank. KSP spotting him out. Just going to feed that information to his team as he's going aggressive with a grapple hook. But look where Italy is. They're behind the payload, and KSP is taking a position they should be holding themselves.
And they're going to completely catch them on the retreat here as well. There's no way Italy walk away. What a headshot coming out of KSP as well to bring down Halfbeat. This is the problem when you're playing 3-3 into double sniper, is you have to deal with all the range they've got. They're able to slowly chip away at your health bars, bring down crucial members, and there's not much you can do about it.
You send your demon towards KSP, grapple hooks back to his team. You've got the coerce that's online, yes, but you've already lost Halfbeat, and the payload just been stopped. Getting ultimates on the board, there's a self-destruct available for Smex, but he wants to throw at Kim. Sending that Dragon Strike through the holding fortress that Italy decided to take for themselves, but coming in from the Italian side, not going to pay many dividends. KSP, Smex, they're on cleanup duty. The Italians' first whole strategy is burning time. It's not as being successful as I think they wanted it to be.
It at least did the job of stalling them for a brief while, and Italy here should be able to get back to defend the doorway before they manage to complete this first point. But the UK had a great read on that, and I love watching the way teams deal with the opening gambit or the opening fight on any map, because you're always kind of the case of having to adapt to the comp that's being brought out or anticipate certain playstyles. The UK read it very, very well, because what they did was send Chris upstairs to drop the shield down in front of the snipers, so none of them could get hooked away by Carnifex.
Look where Boombox is. He's above the entrance. They're all coming out very slowly from Italy. They're going to pop that bongo very early. And look at this, hook immediately mid them. They've got no front shield. Sound barrier coming out early. Carnifex has removed that supercharger with his whole hog, and they're pushing the rest of the UK back. Boombox left by himself. Might need to reposition. Self-destruct right on the head of mid. There was nowhere to turn. You can't look up that well, unfortunately, as Kib will take out Bims. UK have got this one under wraps. They're going to keep their road going on Junkertown.
UK are doing a fantastic job of playing with this solo support and not dying. Even the 3-3 came through. and they had the sound barrier come down onto Italy. Yes, they managed to drag the Rhine away, so there was no big front line, but they soaked it all up, and the only thing that managed to really connect and be brought down was the supercharger coming out of the Orisa. They didn't get a single kill onto the side of the UK, despite them only having one support and playing with an Orisa on side.
I love that Boombox is getting to do a lot of things that he played a little bit of Roadhog in Overwatch League, but now he's at the World Cup stage and it's demanding that we have that Roadhog with him. He's now going to go, yeah, I'm going to have some fun with this one, guys. I'm going to play off a damage hero a little bit more and really make my name known.
This is the comp that we saw coming through a lot during the double sniper meta as the kind of air quotes counter to it. You usually go for the hook and chain combo out of the Orisa and the Roadhog. You have the D.Va for the flexibility to give that defense matrix to keep everyone alive. And this is exactly what Boombox played in playoffs with the Fusion. He managed to play Roadhog a lot and get a good number of kills with it as well. So here he is, getting the chance, like you say, to shine in that and show that he's not just a support player, not that he needs to prove that to anyone.
If only Boombox could have hooked Dragon Eddie a little bit earlier, because he did manage to take out KSP. Crew's going to rectify that. Self-destruct did find Christopher. UK still getting the kills. Heartbeat, Dims, and Carnifex, their own little forward operating unit. They're going to get hooked. Damage enough is going to be able to kill Heartbeat. Doesn't need to pull him in any further. Going to come out the door. Carnifex looking for something more, but will be taken out by Kib. Earthshatter not finding anyone as they played around the terrain, and Boombox is going to clean up Midna to move on to the home stretch of that second checkpoint.
I feel here that Italy have got to try and mix things up, and yes, bringing out the Roadhog does mean you can get some grabs down if you can hit them. The problem is from the UK, you've got Boombox landing grabs, you've got the double sniper coming through, and the protection coming out of the Orisa and the D.Va just means it's like trying to punch shadows. They can't catch anyone, they can't deal with these sudden attacks coming out of the darkness, and the UK are just rolling through this map. They've got 4 minutes and 10 seconds left to play with to get to the end of this map.
Dragon Strike available. They've got themselves a Valkyrie. Self-destruct for Smex. Italy getting close to getting some ultimates of their own. Taylor's going to stay in motion for the time being, and it's a very oppressive UK. They've got 4 minutes for this final phase of the map. And I'm under no illusions about them completing this one, guys.
Yeah, they are trying to change things up a little bit here, Italy at least. They're switching over to play on the double sniper. Problem is the UK have been warming up for the last 5 minutes playing this exact comp, so you're going to really struggle to deal with them. Even with the dive tanks coming through, they're not able to find a way in because of the anti-dive, coming out of Orisa and out of Boombox. Well, good luck with that.
Look how aggressive the positioning is on this team. They're right in the face of the spawn as the payload hasn't even got around that first corner. They're going to start firing arrows at them, and you've got Boombox on that high ground as he has been this entire game, looking for those hooks, looking for those pickoffs. Dragon Eddie going to contest it. Heartbeat takes out the supercharger as they take the rest of the fight. That's a nano-boosted Midna swinging his hammer. KSP's taking out Carnifex. It's the only actual kill coming in so far. They're throwing everything at Team UK. Go for the charge. Christopher does not go golden with the Fortify, so will get charged. KSP takes out Midna while he's freed up. His attention being in that charge. The rest of the UK going to move round through, rectifying the mistake, bringing Christopher back up into the fight. UK seeming relatively unfazed by everything being thrown at them.
Even with that one kill coming through again, even with the solo support, the UK are just cushioning everything that Italy are throwing at them. They've rotated comps 2 or 3 times now. Now they're back over to the 3-3 with the Anna again for the anti-nade. They're still unable to stop them.
Christopher, he's just been stopped by an Earthshatter to the face. Carnifex going to follow up with a damage. Nice sleep dart. Take KSP out of the fight. Italy showing signs of life as they're coming out the spawn room. Kib taking out Heartbeat. Smex will get DMAX. I imagine he'll go down as well. It's not hard for a Carnifex Brigitte to shut that down. Kib's still alive. Takes out Nisa. Gets 1 for the return. Spawn advantage is in favor of Italy, so they will get more out of this than the UK will. Self-destruct goes up into the air, but Kib's already on the low ground. KSP taking out Bims.
KSP and Kib are just running rampant here, getting all kinds of random picks, while the rest of the team is too worried about dealing with the big tanky bodies in the front line. Literally every 5 seconds, we're seeing a new name next to KSP or Kibs in the kill feed.
Okay, Christopher is just being ridiculous right now. He's running in by himself and getting himself killed when he's trying to 2v1 Midna and Carnifex. But look at that, Crew sweeps in, gets the resurrection onto the right hand, flies straight back out. KSP has not died and is still getting work done on this sniper. Graviton Surge pulling UK together for Team Italy. Self-destruct goes over the top, blocked out by Midna. KSP still got these sightlines. Kib being a little bit more aggressive with mobility rewarded to him by playing Hanzo. Earthshatter thrown out. No one going to be knocked down. Bims taking out Boombox. Heartbeat onto Cruz.
Finally, the endless war draws to an end between these two teams, just constantly going at each other. And despite the picks coming through from KSP and Kib, as said, they were only every 5 to 10 seconds or so there was no definitive team fight win for the UK, despite Italy constantly fighting at a numbers disadvantage. You can see now that the UK have gone, right, okay, we've done this for 3 minutes. It hasn't really paid off. let's change up our ideas here, go back towards that Ghost composition, and try and rush Italy off the point.
A lot of the time bank has been burned and ult charge given over to Italy. This could be quite difficult for the UK to finish with a minute remaining. You have to build up those ultimates very quickly if they want to contend with what the Italy can put out.
What they're looking for, they have got hold of the both support ultimates. They've got the self-destruct about to come online. No such luck or joy or resource available to the UK right now, but we've seen them build these ults at incredible rates so far. Here comes that first bite with an nano boost onto the right.
Nano boosting mid there, he's in range to take out KSP, and the Flame Strike will do the job. So already they put the UK on the back foot, 30 seconds remaining. They need to stop dying here, survive this onslaught and go back with a unified push. With Boombox getting the D-Mech on the Dragon Eddy. Luckily, it's going to be done there before Smex loses his. So an even playing field, but Midna getting that late kill onto Smex with the Flame Strike. 15 seconds remaining. Smex is going to be late to this fight.
Might not even get here at all in time for it. They might have to engage without him there, or at least contest the point. He has just respawned to be racing back with the rest of the team. They've got to make a move now. Christopher has got a shatter here that could literally win or lose them Junkertown.
Needs that Brigitte to come up into the face with him. KSP needs to get that stun so he can lock it off. Graviton Surge there for Harpy. He can pull them all away from the point in overtime. Just needs to be
big
patient.
shatter.
It's been blocked out though. No one really falling down. Graviton Surge pulling them in on the payload. Mid to go for the charge. That barrier is there, but a lot of bodies are dropping for UK. Transcendence can't cover everyone if they're so split apart. Dragon Eddy taking out Cruz, he'll be the first victim, and now the rest of Italy are rolling over UK. Smex trying to answer, there's the Graviton Surge. Bionic Grenade is huge to sustain the rest of Italy, and it doesn't look like UK are going to be able to get a foothold in this one, because a Nano, nearly full charge half-beat, is there to cut through them.
A Nano full charge Zarya is not fun to deal with. 285 damage a second means that you can basically tickle most members on the enemy team, and they'll be melted in no time at all. Very, very good final defense coming through from Italy. The UK leaving it a little bit late to change up their ideas. They're swearing by double sniper when ultimately it wasn't paying off for them. And the huge anti-nade that came through at the very end from Nisa, he got that down onto both, I think it was the Zarya and the D.Va. They're two of the key targets you want to burn them. That's shielding down and defense matrix out the way. You could storm through and clear out the rest of the members. So great anti-nade from him that wasn't eaten, meant they managed to clear them off and win, or not really win, but at least prevent the UK from completing this map. Biggest problem now is they've got to stop, or the UK now have to try and stop Italy from getting to 97.84 meters. That's a pretty tall order for Italy to push the whole way through this map to near completion.
Basically have to complete at this point, Des. And you know, the most ironic thing about that double sniper composition not working out, I believe, for the UK in that final phase was even in the final phase, the double snipers were fragging consistently and not dying. They just couldn't get the bodies on the point to contest. The spawn advantage, just too much for the Italian side to counteract it.
This is the weird thing about it, is I kind of would have liked them to switch over to play dive tanks instead, because Christopher being on the Orisa, if he gets too close, they just rush him down and kill him before the snipers can do too much damage. It was just awkward. I think if they'd gone for the Winston, they'd maybe gone for some dives into the backline off the back of an opening pick from one of the snipers, which is how really you're meant to play it. They could have made that work out in their favor, but alas, we're speaking about the history now, Trin. Let's talk more about the present. Both sides currently hovering over playing that Orisa. The defensive side, obviously on the UK, now switching things out and putting Smex onto the Roadhog instead. Boombox back on that trusty Zenyatta.
Double sniper composition for UK. Want to run it on defense like they did on offense. Italy deciding what they want to go. Please, 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 Dragon Eddy, bless this Paris group stage with the pirate ship and put that Bastion securely on there. They're going to go for it, Des. They're walking out the point. They might get scared if they see what's happening. But they're looking like they're coming out of the point of it. Des, this could be the pirate ship setting sail on Junkertown.
It's not just the pirate ship as well, it's the flexibility it gives you. You can afford to play like a double flanker style here, where you send Carnifex on one side of the Widowmaker and send the Roadhog off somewhere else to try and get some hooks from the side. We've seen so many teams employ this strategy in Overwatch League. The UK should be prepared for it, but it's very difficult to deal with unless they can find that opening pick, which is what Smex is looking for. If they catch the Bastion here, that's huge.
He's behind him. I don't think Italy knows he's here. He's going to go for the hook. Oh, they've adapted. They've seen it. They're just going to pull up Midnight instead. Burst it down, but not killed. So they still need to get hold of that Bastion and concede this ground. Play around the terrain as Dragon Eddy gets the full HP.
There's two big aspects that now play into this, is who can break the Orisa shield first. Minna getting grabbed up. That was huge. This should be the win for the UK to push them all the way back. They can't compete without a shield.
The Holt hook combination is so strong. The ball and chain again onto Halfbeat, and he's killed upon landing because Smex and Kib are there for the damage, and he's got himself a Dragon Strike already.
I was going to say the two aspects of this kind of standoff these teams are having is one, the Orisa shields, two, how the hook and the ball and hook chain combo lands. You saw it in action twice there for the UK. It completely shut Italy down despite that shield being deployed. That's what you'll be looking for Italy to try and break this open. But right now, all the grabs are coming from Specs.
They're just going for that Goats composition now. They're giving up on the Bastion. Dragon Strike going to cut through multiple members. Specs doing so much work for the UK on this Roadhog. He's the top fragger on this round by far.
They're looking for it with the 3-3, and this is always the advantage the attackers have at the very start of maps, is you get the flexibility to choose what comp you want to bring out to counter the defensive side. 3-3 was their choice. Kind of a tough one, because again, with the Orisa shield, you can keep both the supports alive, you can keep the snipers alive, you've got the threat of Specs getting a crucial grab onto someone as they try and rush in. Their biggest reliance here will be an anti-nade onto someone like Specs to burn him down and start getting the man advantage to win the point over.
I've only just noticed that Specs on the Roadhog has a UK flag on his stomach. That is really cool design. They're looking for an alternative route. They're taking it to Specs. He needs healing from his team because he can't do it himself when the whole hog is active. Still going to hold this line, looking to push forward. No one's on the payload. Valkyrie being popped early by Cruz. He wants to get the advantage out there. They're going to send Harpy forward with that nano boost, 100 charge. They cut through wherever they can. Bims are taking out Moonbox, but look at the Dragon Strike. Cut through the path of entrance that Italy wanted to take. UK looking shaky for them, but with 1 minute 30 left, they've wiped Team Italy again.
So there's a bit of composure required when you have a 3-3 competition come running at you. It's why you see a lot of players opt to try and run this strategy in competitive plays, because not so much that it's easy, but it will roll you over if you're not prepared to deal with it. Unfortunately for the UK, well, there was no defense matrix there to eat that ultimate coming out of Kib. It wiped them off as they pushed on the high ground. Even Christopher getting himself a couple of kills as the team rushed on top of him.
1 minute remaining for Team Italy. Need to get it under this bridge, this fortified defense that the UK have built for themselves. Proving too punishing for Italy to deal with. They need to find another way to break through. They've got eyes on that sniper. Carnifex, do not peek. You will lose your head. Kib, very conscious of it, but he's KSP. He's going to deal with Midna already. Scanning out. He's moving forward.
Oh,
he's taking the fight to him. What a shot from Kib as he takes out Carnifex.
All you need from one of your snipers is to get those big crucial kills onto their snipers, and they lose all of that zone control given by the line of sight. And what better way to take it to an enemy sniper trick than to quite literally leap forward into them and get the opening kill.
He's going to have another Dragon Strike through. What could be the final fight? There's 23 seconds remaining. If Italy are going to complete this first checkpoint, they're going to have to do it in overtime. But more importantly, they're going to have to find a way to break through the UK's defenses. Dragon Strike available, payload in motion, Kib sending it straight through Midna. He's caught off from the rest of the team, already losing there. Reinhardt, and unfortunately, Harpy's going to fall to the Storm Arrow. Italy are falling by the wayside. Team UK send their message, and it's going to be a 4-0 leading into the final game for Team UK.
Very convincing and dominant performance. And as we said, a few scuffs in the armor at points from Team UK, but they will have to go away and look at review and think about how they're going to patch those over ahead of the game against France. But I think from what we've seen here, Trid, the story remains the same. It is so difficult to call which of those two teams will take that final series.
I think that's the way that we want it, Des. I mean, obviously we want to root and say the UK are going to absolutely demolish France, but to be honest, you ask any of the talent, we don't really know the definitive answer. We can meme about it and say, yeah, UK #1, 4-0, easy clap, all that. We just don't know what's going to happen. I think that's the most exciting part about this match. It's coming up to close out the Paris group stage.
And that's the beautiful thing about it, is that you know ahead of the game there's going to be this banter between the teams, having a bit of laugh. The best thing is you can make those kind of claims when you can still be made the fool if you lose, but you know that post-game there will be a lot of handshakes, there'll be a lot of well-play being exchanged between the players, because that's all we expect is a solid performance between them. But in this series, the UK, maybe a bit of a second rough map, we said at half-time, faces the players didn't look too content with their performance. But obviously with that second half show, with KSP in the roster, things look very, very good.
KSP finally waking up. Shaky Volskaya on his first day of play, but he's really fitting in with that team. Double sniper composition. Add that to the repertoire of Team UK.
This is quite scary. I thought you had an extra point.
No, I didn't. That was literally it. Add it to the repertoire.
Add it to the repertoire, sure. Another one on the list, another comp that we can choose to
So we got
employ.
Goats and Double Sniper.
What else we got? There's no Sombra Doom we've really seen from this. We've seen Dotes, as we call it.
What, sorry?
We've seen Dotes come out.
Dotes, yeah, it's a variation of Goats, though. But we're going to speak to Christopher on the floor with Malik. I'm sure he's got something to say.
Thank you very much, guys. I am here with Christopher. All right, man. So Team UK has already locked their spot into BlizzCon, but right now it's about getting that #1 seed. How seriously did you guys take this match, knowing that having a 4-0 would increase your chances of getting that #1?
We took the match seriously. I think we effectively had a job to do today. You know, we didn't want to use too much NAD. We didn't need to show too many strats. We just needed to play clean, consistent, and then prepare for the 4-0 later today.
Prepare for the 4-0 later today. Let's go ahead and move along to the match coming up. You're obviously saying, oh, you know what, before we do that, I would like you to translate that for the audience, because I kind of want to hear their reaction. Let's do that.
Donc Malik a demandé tout simplement, est-ce qu'ils ont vraiment pris ce match sérieusement, étant donné qu'ils avaient quand même besoin du 4-0 pour assurer la première place éventuellement s'ils battent la France. Oui, ils ont pris le match sérieusement, il fallait faire ce qu'il y avait à faire tout simplement, et apparemment ils se préparent pour le 4-0 suivant.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. that's, no, they weren't saying soon that time. They were definitely saying boo, I'm pretty sure. All right, that was a little bit of a hybrid of both. But anyways, Christopher, now let's look forward to that matchup against Team France. AKM came out here. He said it was going to 4-0. You guys are saying you guys are going to 4-0 France. But how are you feeling overall about this match? Like, how confident are you really about Team France? And you think you guys are going to be able to claim victory?
We've watched their games. They look pretty average. I think if we mirror the same comps, they don't stand a chance against us.
All right, that's rough. That's rough.
Go ahead, man. You gotta tell them.
Donc, ils sont complètement à leur portée, si on doit synthétiser un petit peu, ils sont complètement à leur portée. S'ils continuent à jouer les mêmes compositions, ça risque d'être assez facile puisqu'ils sont de niveau très moyen.
Right on cue. Right on cue. Well, Christopher, I'm pretty sure you want to wind down a little bit and get ready for your matchup later on today. So thank you very much for your time. And guys, we're going to go ahead and break down everything that we just saw here on the stage right now with our casters.
Thank you very much, Malik, and of course, thank you, Christopher, for being the voice of reason within the UK. Absolutely love that the French crowd did not miss a beat. That is exactly what we wanted to hear.
Oh, I could almost be in tears. You can listen to this guy talk all day because every single answer is just laden with the UK banter behind it. And as said, you lay it all out before the series so that if you do lose, you're made to be the four, but afterwards it's all about shaking hands and saying game well played. But confidence, I think, coming into that final series is going to be key for both sides, especially for the UK when you consider that the French team have the France crowd behind them. The UK, all they've got to go on is a little bit of banter, a little bit of confidence in this final series.
Christopher can talk the talk. Let's see if he can walk the walk as we have a look at these stats from the previous series.
Damage blocked as well. Woo. Well, a lot being blocked up basically there. 11 deaths across the whole thing. Definitely more of a team player there as well. Not too many final blows on side. He was enabling his team, and that's exactly what you want a tank to do. And let's not forget, the whole of the last map, he was on Orisa. Not really the most frag-heavy hero that you'll see in Overwatch.
He switched over to Reinhardt. I still can't get over that play where he walked into the 2v1. Honestly, he's clumsier than a greasy octopus trying to unopen a jar. It's just like, I don't know what he was trying to do there. It's just throwing meat at Italy.
It's like, come on, guys, you want me? There's a free ult charge here if you want it. Come get it. As long as he doesn't play like that against France, then I think we'll be happy.
If he doesn't do anything where he tries to 2v1 and beat Reinhardt against France, I think we'll be fine. You bots, stop it.
Christopher Bot.
Yeah.
Can you just imagine that and seeing the game? Just Christopher Bot running around, just like swinging his hammer away?
Maybe, I might make that my Smurf name, see if I can fit it in there. Problem is, he'll never see it though. But to tell you something we will see, we're going to have a look at the fan polls by T-Mobile. Let's find out what you guys have been saying about that series. The best part about the UK versus Italy match has been Dragon Eddie spamming nice try the entire time, and whatever you would call that emoji face.
The crying face. I think it's a joy face, I believe.
Joy face?
Joy face is what it's down to when you actually type it out. But Jake was saying earlier on that a lot of the spams you get in between games can get so annoying. It's like we said earlier on, any small edge you can get, even if it's spamming emotes, you'll take it.
I'm a big fan of Winston and going natural selection when you get a kill. It really does add salt to the room. Let's fire up another tweet from you guys. KSP's Widow positioning really is something else. Dude's going to be an absolute game changer one day. I cannot agree more, Dan, in the World Cup. I cannot agree more.
Takes a bit of time for him to warm up. Once he does warm up, you can see why everyone is excited about this guy. 4 months ago, Open Division. Now we're here at the top in the World Cup, and now he's looking towards the Overwatch League as his next step. Guy's looking fantastic. What more can you say?
Well, let's fire up. We've heard, apparently, we get 3 tweets this time, Des. Apparently, we got a third. Don't leave me hanging, production. What have you got for me? Awesome to see so much synergy in the teams at the hashtag OWWC 2018. And that is the hashtag you need to be using if you also want to be on the T-Mobile Fan Pulse.
Absolutely, and on the point there, the team synergy, you're absolutely right. And don't forget, a lot of these players will have other commitments. They'll be playing on other teams and things like Contenders or for Team France, Overwatch League. The fact that we've seen teams really come together and execute GOATs and other competitions well is just a testament to how much work these guys are sinking into the game every single day.
Let's have a look at some of the highlights from that series. Refresh your memory. Leading in, having a look at some of the highlights. Beautiful use of the environment on Ilios. That was a common trend for the UK.
And it seems to be the whole story of Ilios for these guys. And a lot of European teams tend to shy away from Ilios, like, too many environmentals there, can't run GOATs, don't really want to play it too much. United Kingdom took it in their stride and just played dive tanks the whole time, which makes it a lot easier to play around that. And almost a boot from Cruz there. The Wrecking Ball getting that final little lance away, keeps themselves safe.
Kings Row. It was the most resistance we've seen out the Italian side, forcing a second attempt from Team UK. Can't affect, not to be outdone by the UK's use of environmental kills, taking Christopher off the map. Here's going to be a nice bomb coming in from Dragon Eddie over the top, finding a double kill on the Christopher and Cruz. Two most vocal guys on Team UK, by the way.
You're not wrong, it was definitely their strongest map. I mean, with that third point push with the Graviton Surge, where they held all 6 members off the point and just pushed it to completion, they could have stood there and just spammed the wave emote the whole time to say, see you later, guys, we're going to complete the map now, and they couldn't do a thing about it. You saw when it came around to the overtime, though, the UK just amassed those 6 ultimates and went for the big push. And to be honest with you, a defensive masterclass was shown by the UK when it came to Anubis.
I think it was a Widow masterclass by KSP. The amount of headshots that guy was getting on this map was unreal. I love that we're seeing a little bit more Wrecking Ball coming out from the UK. Obviously, they did their Dotes early on Ilios, but we also saw Smax playing it on Temple of Anubis.
And I was very concerned, I won't lie, I said it earlier on with KSP after his first performance on Bold Sky, that we wouldn't see the guy really hit the peaks that we've all seen him achieve in European Contenders. And he's been showing it across these maps. Boombox even getting his chance to shine in the frag stats with a fantastic performance on Roadhog.
I absolutely love our observers when they give us stuff like that. That is liquid Overwatch. Heartbeat being pulled in by Smax, even having a try at the Roadhog. After a great Hog performance in Kib. Oh, it's beautiful! From Kib, taking the fight right over to the Widowmaker.
It's the kind of stuff we love to see in the UK, so spontaneous headshots, and Kib is delivering in spades. Now the big question is, can he and the rest of the UK team deliver on the big stage against France at the end of the day?
Stakes have been set for that matchup. Up next, we are going to have Poland versus the Netherlands, which of course, it's battle of pride for these guys. Both of them can't go to BlizzCon. I don't think either of them are looking at last place either, so it's all about that final finish. We just want to tease you guys a little bit more as well before we get you to the match that everyone's been waiting for. But Poland-Netherlands should be a good series coming up next.
I'm looking forward to it because Darnier's been the guy on everyone's lips this weekend as one of the standout players across all teams, not just Poland. You're coming up against the Netherlands, who after day 1 and 2, a few of us were saying these guys could potentially bring the UK down. Turn into a 4-0 in the end, but it does mean that we're set up for a pretty great series.
Well, great series on the horizon. Before we get to there, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you Netherlands versus Poland.